Hey guys, it's Rudy again, and this is gonna be Astrolog number 1. This video is gonna be kind of short because my projections when I'm astral projecting are a little short, but it's all good, we'll get used to it eventually. For some reason, I end up coming back to my body, and I don't know why, but I do. So I'm just gonna go with it and see what keeps happening. But I was meditating, and I've been meditating for a while now on a daily, for about, I could say, a month or two. Before that, I wasn't doing it that regularly, but I've been doing it on a regular daily now. And I guess I was kind of getting to the point where I was just wondering when I would be able to project myself outside of my body while meditating. And I remember thinking to myself about how I always talk about how we don't have to know how things are going to go about. We don't have to know or expect things to go a certain way. Like, I was expecting myself to eventually get to the point where I could astral project while meditating, but I just decided to lay down because I thought to myself I'd be a lot more comfortable laying down. I feel like whatever makes you more comfortable and less consciously aware of your body is going to be a faster process than if you're sitting there meditating, and if you tend to be fatigued by your body, it's going to be a lot more challenging, I feel. So I decided to lay down, and I don't really remember the thought process. I just remember telling myself, okay, like, I want to astral project and I want to do it consciously. I want to remember it. And it ended up just working out, because I feel like you just have to let go, because if you don't understand the process, it's almost going to be counterintuitive to try to control it down a certain direction, because it's not going to lead you to that point of actually breaking out. So I just decided to go with the flow, trusting myself that everything was going to go the way it was supposed to go. And I did. I got out of my body, and I was in here in my room, and I could hear this really loud ringing noise, but it wasn't in my ears. It was throughout all my surroundings and throughout my body, and I just felt like there was no separation of me and my surroundings. It all just was one, and I could feel the entirety of the vibration of the room. And I remembered to myself, well, this is it, really. Like, you did it. You consciously did this, because I've done this before in my sleep and stuff. I've told myself before I go to bed that I'm going to do it tonight. I want to. But this was more, I felt like, consciously telling myself to really do it, not just before bed, but throughout a part of my day. So when I did this, I looked to my counter over here, and I have a window right there, and I usually walk through this. Well, when I used to live here, when I was young, I used to walk through this wall. I remember doing it once when I first had my first conscious, one of my first conscious that I could remember. So I'm sure I've done many that I was unconscious of. One of my first conscious experiences, and I walked out of my room, and I was hanging out outside, and I was jumping through the streets, and I jumped into the sky, and yeah, it was fun. But I decided to walk through my wall again, and I was just looking at this and my window, and I thought to myself, like, can I really do this? And I was just like, okay, yeah, Rudy, like, you are in a whole nother state of frequency right now. You're in a whole nother dimension. And I just, like, accepted it, and I went for it. And I started walking through my desk, and it's so weird because you just feel yourself merging with your surroundings even while you walk through them. And as I walked through the wall, there was nothing outside. It was complete darkness. And I have experience with this complete darkness. Maybe you guys do too, when you fall asleep and you feel yourself falling into darkness and you wake up a little bit. It's that same darkness that many of us travel through in the astral realms. So I saw the darkness and I already knew I had to fall through it in a sense to end up wherever I was going. Well, that's the way I usually go about it, and I usually tend to forget everything that happens once I fall through the darkness. Sometimes I remember, but sometimes I don't. So I started falling through the darkness, and I wasn't afraid. I usually get this feeling in my stomach as if like when you go down a roller coaster or you go down a hill and you get this gut feeling in your stomach like you're falling. I usually get that feeling when I'm falling through darkness in past astral projection experiences. But this time I was really comfortable and it just felt like I was falling into soft black pillows and I wasn't afraid. And I was falling through these dark pillows. I kind of felt like I had to create a scene to exist in order to experience something, because I wasn't experiencing anything. So I don't really remember much, but I remember imagining certain types of scenarios and scenes that I wanted to exist in, and I would start existing in them, and I would get bored after a while, and then I would just go into another one, and I would go into another one. But I feel like I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I was kind of just traveling the thoughts of my subconscious mind and stuff. At least that's what it felt like. Didn't really feel like I actually traveled outside of my own conscious thoughts. Because other times I felt like I have traveled outside of my conscious mind and gone into other worlds and other dimensions with different types of experiences. But not this. So that was my first experience with my conscious astral projection, and I'm gonna try to do it again on a daily. And I notice for me it's easier when I'm feeling kind of tired, because it seems to induce it a lot easier if I'm really energetic and awake and at a point in my day where I'm really awake. I tend to lay there and it feels like it's taking really long, so I get frustrated. But it's been easier to do it in the mornings for me, and I haven't really tried it at night, but I like it in the morning because I wake up, I meditate, and then I try it out. So then when I do wake up, because sometimes I do wake up instantaneously, I don't go to sleep afterwards and have a whole nother collection of dreams that dilute that experience. I can remember it because it's my last reference of what I was experiencing in my sleep. So if you want to keep logged in with this astral log, hopefully I can start doing this on a daily, and I'll be uploading the videos. Have a nice day. Thanks for the support.